Deep within the Himalayas, the Yarlung Tsangpo River carves its way from the sacred Mount Kailash, winding through the Tibetan Plateau, often called the Roof of the World. Revered by Tibetan Buddhists and vital for millions, this river plunges through the world's deepest canyon before entering India as the Siang, then the Brahmaputra. Now, China plans to build a colossal dam here, one that would dwarf even the Three Gorges Dam. Slated for Medog County, where the river makes its dramatic turn, this mega dam aims to harness the river's immense energy as it surges through the Grand Canyon. The project is a showcase of China's engineering ambition and hunger for energy, but it casts a long shadow over this pristine spiritual region. For Beijing, it's a flagship in the quest for carbon neutrality and technological supremacy, promising vast clean energy. But environmentalists warn of irreversible damage to one of the planet's most unique ecosystems. Downstream nations like India and Bangladesh fear for their water security, as China could gain control over a resource that sustains hundreds of millions. The Yarlung Tsangpo Dam is more than concrete and turbines. It's a story of power, natural, political, and the power of water to sustain life. It forces a reckoning between development and preservation, national interest and international cooperation. As the world watches, the fate of this mighty river hangs in the balance, caught between ancient Tibetan traditions and modern Chinese ambitions. The dragon on the roof of the world is stirring, and its actions will echo for generations. The Medog Dam is set for Medog County, a remote region in Tibet strategically placed at the Great Bend of the Yarlung Tsangpo, where the river's drop creates immense hydropower potential. This isn't just a single dam, but a complex of facilities designed to capture the river's raw energy and turn it into a torrent of electricity. Early plans suggest up to 60 gigawatts of output, 3 times the capacity of the Three Gorges Dam. Enough to power entire provinces. This structure would be a marvel of engineering, built in a seismically active, challenging environment. The dam is central to China's energy strategy, helping meet ambitious climate goals and reducing reliance on coal. Beijing frames it as a responsible step towards sustainability and a major contribution to the global fight against climate change. Beyond energy, the dam is a symbol of national pride and technological achievement, solidifying China's leadership in hydropower. The project is driven by both practical needs and the desire to project an image of a modern, powerful China. It's designed to power the nation and showcase China's ability to tame nature on an epic scale. China's motivation for the Medog Dam is rooted in its massive and growing energy demand. As the world's most populous country, China needs a constant, reliable power supply to fuel its cities and industries. The Medog Dam's projected 60 gigawatt capacity is a game-changer for energy security and economic growth. Another driver is China's pledge to peak carbon emissions before 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality by 2060. Hydropower is seen as a key tool in this transition, and the Medog Dam is a flagship project in China's Green Revolution. The dam also promises economic development for Tibet, bringing jobs, infrastructure, and investment to a remote region. Beijing presents such projects as poverty alleviation and regional development, aiming to balance the national economy. Strategically, the dam asserts China's control over the Tibetan Plateau and its vast water resources, Asia's water tower. Building the world's largest dam here sends a message. China is determined to utilize these resources for its own benefit. It's a demonstration of power, with significant influence over water flows vital to its southern neighbors. The Yarlung Tsangpo Grand Canyon is a global biodiversity hotspot, home to rare species like the snow leopard and red panda. Building a mega dam here means habitat destruction, flooding vast forests and grasslands and fragmenting ecosystems. The dam would trap nutrient-rich silt, starving downstream floodplains in India and Bangladesh, and threatening agriculture. Altered water flow and temperature could devastate fish populations, disrupting local fisheries. The region is highly earthquake-prone. A massive reservoir here raises serious safety concerns, including the risk of reservoir-induced seismicity. A catastrophic dam failure could unleash disaster downstream, threatening millions. Climate change adds uncertainty. Melting glaciers may reduce river flow, making the dam's long-term viability questionable. The project risks investing in a resource that may become less reliable as global warming accelerates. The Yarlung Tsangpo flows from Tibet into India and Bangladesh, supporting hundreds of millions. China's dam gives it control over the river's flow, raising fears in India and Bangladesh about water security. China could withhold water during dry seasons or release it during monsoons, creating political leverage and potential disasters downstream. There's no binding water-sharing treaty. China prefers full control, sharing only limited data. India has responded with its own dam plans, raising the specter of a dam-building race in the fragile Himalayas. For Bangladesh, already vulnerable to flooding, any change in river flow could devastate agriculture and livelihoods. The stakes are high, with regional stability and millions of lives hanging in the balance. The Medog Dam site is home to Tibetan and minority communities, including the Loba people, for whom the river is sacred. The dam would submerge holy sites and disrupt a way of life intertwined with the land for generations. Large-scale projects in China often mean forced relocation. Entire communities may be moved, losing homes and cultural identity. Promises of new opportunities rarely compensate for the loss of traditional livelihoods and social networks. The process is top-down, with little consultation or input from affected Tibetans. Critics see the dam as part of a broader pattern of state-led development aimed at assimilating Tibet and diluting its unique culture. The project threatens to sever the ancient connection between people and land, risking the loss of a unique cultural heritage. Beijing frames the Medog Dam as a cornerstone of its sustainable future, a monumental achievement in the fight against climate change. The dam is touted as a symbol of China's commitment to green development, reducing coal reliance and boosting clean energy. Economic benefits are emphasized: jobs, infrastructure, and investment for Tibet, bridging the gap between China's east and west. China points to its engineering expertise, citing past successes like the Three Gorges Dam, and claims modern techniques can manage geological risks. Officially, China insists it will act as a responsible upstream neighbor, sharing data and promising to consider downstream interests. Beijing argues the dam could even help regulate floods and store water for dry seasons, benefiting the region. However, China resists binding treaties, preferring dialogue and data sharing over legal commitments. The project is presented as an opportunity for stable water management, not a threat. The Medog Dam debate captures a global dilemma: clean energy and development versus ecosystem and human rights protection. The dam could deliver massive renewable energy, cut China's carbon footprint, and bring jobs to Tibet. But the risks are immense, devastating biodiversity, threatening geological stability, and altering river flows that sustain millions. Geopolitically, the dam gives China leverage over India and Bangladesh, raising the risk of conflict in a tense region. The lack of a water-sharing treaty breeds mistrust and could escalate into a security crisis. The human cost is profound: displacement, loss of sacred sites, and erasure of Tibetan culture. The project raises ethical questions: whose interests are served and at what price? The balance is precarious, and the consequences of getting it wrong are profound. The Yarlung Tsangpo Megadam is a project of superlatives: massive, ambitious, and controversial. For China, it's a symbol of technological confidence and a step toward a sustainable future. 60 gigawatts of clean energy is compelling in a world facing climate crisis. But this vision comes with serious consequences: ecological catastrophe, seismic risks, and geopolitical flashpoints. Human rights advocates warn of cultural loss and displacement, with local voices largely ignored. The project remains shrouded in secrecy, with little transparency or consultation with stakeholders. The river's future is being decided behind closed doors, leaving millions in uncertainty. The need for international cooperation and open debate has never been greater. The Medog Dam forces us to ask: what is the true price of progress? Can we balance energy needs with preserving nature and culture? The fate of the Yarlung Tsangpo is unwritten, and the choices made now will shape its story for generations.